Hello and welcome to Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment. I don't know how many cases are left, but I will do one case per stream. And today's case, let's say, we have cases like the fate of Black Peter, the case of Riddle on Rails, the case of Bloodbath, and the case of Abby Crane's affair. Today we have a case called the Kew Gardens drama. What drama is in these gardens? I don't know. I don't remember. There are so many cases. But we will continue solving these cases and hopefully solve every one of them until end of this year. And let's have a small recap where we left off. Enjoy.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
It's fun to see that Watson is actually picking up some mannerism of Holmes, even if Watson is always, confused.
Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
Is that Don't tell Mrs. Hudson. And we have new letter. Mr. Holmes, I am writing to inform you that the affair at the Abbey Cranes, which took place almost half a year ago now, still resonates deeply in high society and remains a subject of much gossip. This case's romantic background has attracted many suitors who are so willing to shelter and take pity on Lady Blackenstal. But to this date, she still serves her sentence with her maid Teresa and has rejected all offers of help. To be truthful, I suspect the true motivation of these suitors may well be related to Sir Eustace's title and money. What do you think, Mr. Holmes? Sincerely yours, Inspector Lestrade. I kinda like that Lestrade is not an a-hole in this. Like always, Lestrade is almost either a-hole or he's only one who knows Holmes's true value. Check all them. Kew Gardens.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house?
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand. The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
Why?
Do not touch.
Somebody didn't heed the warning.
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead.
And it was 2 days ago.
The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here. The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed.
Someone broke the door.
The esconsson was breached near the handle. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection Room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection Room.
Now you are learning, Watson.
Soil. It should have come from a flower pot.
Did the father caught the thief?
The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground.
But is it the same as this one?
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced.
Yep, what was that?
This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it.
Isn't that also called corpse flower?
These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire.
It is India. Singapore.
Very strange. Half of the colonial collection is absent. The smell is strong. It is a detergent.
Stone chip.
A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. These windows were perfectly cleaned. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
Is there anything there? No? Where does it go? There.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. Dry tropics. There is a smell of burning.
Fireplace. Broken pot. Ow, 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 ow. Hot.
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens. The remains of a picture frame.
Okay, why?
A protective mask.
Again, why?
Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. A broom handle was half burned.
This is just hurts on my soul.
The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material.
Somebody was burning the evidence.
Colonial Collection. Water lily greenhouse. Dry tropics.
We are now here. Oh, no, we are here.
Ventilation system. Seed house. Nursery. Palm house. A map of Kew Gardens. Reserve. Director's office, cloakroom, and laboratory.
Ventilation system, you say?
A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings. A water tank. A ventilation system.
Excuse me, Watson?
Locked.
Typical. There anything new here? No. There is object of interest I need.
Locked.
Typical.
Seed house. Locked. Locked. Nursery.
Everything is locked. Can I get in here?
Locked. Nursery. Locked.
Typical. Hello? Can I ask you some questions? But first, I will scan you. Like myopic intensive classes. Dirty color. Well, he's working in a garden. Unmarried. I feel you. Gardener's hands. Makes sense.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
Would you unlock the doors for us?
Do you expect to find the stolen plants there? I am sorry, but those rooms are private.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Well, that actually was a waste of time. He wasn't very cooperative. I can get here. Nice.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
First, scan with detective vision. Actual detective vision. Not like Batman's detective vision. Sharing code. Clean hands, so he doesn't work with the plants.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. Harm House.
I think I haven't been in here yet. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
Plant list.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
Diurnala carnivorous.
Blood. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all. This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
Suspicious. Perform an autopsy on Montague Dunn, The death is suspicious. Why had he forced the door of the colonial collection room? Why had someone cleaned and emptied the room? Was it a trap or a simple accident? You know what that means? To Scotland Yard. To meet our favorite inspector. Actually, in this version, it is our favorite. That's the thing. Lestrade is
I
always...
asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
Usually Lestrade, at least the modern versions, is not a bad person, but he is very stubborn. In this, he does his job, he still listens to Holmes. Why is it hard to make a quirky detective who actually is in good terms with the police? You can make the police be simple-minded that, okay, this is what happened. He is the culprit. And the detective is only one who suspects something else is going on. But the police still listens to him that, okay, we believe this happened, but we still listen what you have to say. And then, can you prove it, that it happened?
This watch is of great value. A beautiful feather pen of a good make.
Letter. To Mr. F. Vane, Director of Vane & Sons Printing Company. My friend, your poster for the great exhibition at Kew Gardens are very beautiful, but it is surely unnecessary to mention all of the staff. My name alone will be sufficient. Montague Dunn. Ooh. So somebody or the printing company wanted to credit all the staff, every one of them. But Montague Dunn was like, nah, my name is enough. Very suspicious. And of course it depends how many people are involved. If there is, let's say, 10 people, you can credit them all. If there is several hundred people working, then of course you can't credit everyone. Club
A
card.
membership card for the London Crest Club.
What did the Crest Club do? I have no idea. Here is the body, yes.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
This feels like predecessor for that one holo game.
There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy.
Face.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse.
Why his eyes are open? Help.
The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal.
That's fine.
The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma.
He was poisoned.
Nothing suspicious here. No redness, stings, or bruises. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
He was probably poisoned. Yeah. Yeah.
The lungs are congested and edematous.
I would be happy if I actually know what that means. Wait a minute.
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction.
Heart.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
Stomach.
The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No. A few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
I'm sorry, but I am still puzzled by that glitch. For some reason, it always says, "Welcome to the chat room." I haven't left.
Locked.
Typical. Find the stolen plants from the last exhibition at Kew Gardens. Excuse me. Inspect key and start building set. Get the information Montague Dunn. Find out who killed Mr. Montague Dunn. Imagine, the murder would have left unchecked if Sherlock Holmes didn't come to check the stolen plants. Not very smart people. Hello again.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he is trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say. He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
you mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Thank you. And the boy was in here? Yes.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah. At the moment, I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
After being trapped in the colony collection room by the killer, Montague Dunn was affected by inhaling a virulent vegetal poison from the vent. Of course. Of course. It makes sense. Kinda. Staff building. I am in the wrong place. Excuse me.
Water lily greenhouse.
I think
Look,
that's
Holmes,
Miss White.
This charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
The seed
Open.
house. Open. Hello, Miss White. I'm sorry to bother you.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you, too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Scanning. Using the detective vision. Expensive perfume. Pink marks person. Poor family. Unmarried.
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
Search archive, of course. Search archives. Here there is a statue. There has to be a statue somewhere. Statue? Come on, come on, come on, come on out, come on. Statue?
The seeds of plant species are stored here.
Aha! Aha!
I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this. Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the colonial collection room is what they have in common. It is a bust of Montague Dunn.
Very curious.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Diplomas.
An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
So Hamish had the actual... what is the word? Dedication?
We can see the interior of the colonial collection room from this window. This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
There is a motive.
Locked.
Not anymore. There is a motive.
Locked.
Not anymore. Kävellä tuli teipille. Vettä.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
We know. Vetskap. What was it, book?
A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert. Chemicals, a sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
Edison standard phonograph.
I don't hear anything.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Evidence required.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Ouch. There is missing one.
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals.
Maybe the murderer wore one and they tried to get rid of evidence.
Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
Or they use some dangerous chemicals.
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Crimes. Wait. Hmm. This one? No, this one. Okay, this is very tricky. Okay, I feel so stupid. Hmm. Yes.
Open the
Open.
employee's cloakroom. Miss White's locker.
Should we be doing this? I'm a gentleman.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Dear mother and father, I am writing this letter with the reluctance to ask for your help. My studies and my housing costs have proven to be more expensive than I had anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but would you be so heartless as to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to lack of money, Margaret?
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money, after all of these years that have passed since you left and without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now? We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first as we at home have always done. And none of us ever compromised their reputation, as it appears you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed. Your parents. Dear Margaret, I know how your financial troubles are overwhelming you at this present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert.
Martin Hamish's locker. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens obliges me to renew my application for the management position. As I have stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and so I was happy to comply. But now the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead, and free my mind from this uncertainty.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting. Father and I, Kew Gardens. Albert's locker. A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
But apparently his father wanted him to continue on his footsteps. Or he wasn't totally whole.
A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Royal Navy School of NCOs, Recruitment Centre, London. Sir, it is my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust to you the directorship of the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he will not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Your very faithfully, M. The March Hand, Director of the Royal Navy Training Center. Aha. So it was his father why they didn't let him enroll on the school. Looks like. Let's search the archives next. What was it? Dialogue. Search archives. And then search archives. Edition machine works. Exotic plants. Poisonous. These plants have a certain toxicity in common, more or less valuable. Dionaya carnivolus, Cannella ineplea, Florem diabolica, Plunus latina, Colomolina odorata, Helium forest tepui, Byblis, Zenlisia vailocae, Darlintonia, Glaucus cephalotus. Only the first three can be dangerous to humans, particularly from diabolica, but only under very specific conditions. The plant should react to a process of aggression against which it will issue deadly spores.
Here it is.
And then broken flower pot. Marks and symbols.
That is not the one I need.
Why? Divine.
That is not the one I need.
Toxin. Divine Syndicate. The Divines collect the syndicate for vegetation veneration. The members of this syndicate worship Revan, the God-king. They strive to obtain spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world, so generous donations are appreciated.
Here it is. The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
killer may be those who stole the exotic plants, including the deadly species from the last exhibition at Kew Gardens. That's ambition. Kew Gardens. I like that Sherlock Holmes reads a book called Crimes and Punishment. I think that is the actual book.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. You are very helpful. New director. Martin Hamish had a motive. He believed that he and his father lived lives had been ruined by Dunn, who had taken the credit for all of their work. Hamish wished to take over the directorship of Kew Gardens, but he knew that would not be possible with Dunn still alive. Albert?
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Albert's humiliation, Albert's ambition. Albert had a motive to kill his father, Montague Dunn. Dunn had thwarted Albert's dream of joining the Royal Navy. By killing his father, Albert could have his revenge and eventually succeed in his father's place as the director of Kew Gardens. But I think the Hamish has better motive.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Thank you, miss.
Inspect the key and staff building. Oh yeah! We needed Toby. I was actually thinking, did I miss something? Toby, we have a job for your nose.
Someone should take Toby for a walk. Have you found something interesting?
No, but can I watch the telescope? Watson? Ah,
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
Watson was hooking the telescope. Oh.
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
Search. Open, 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 open. I am role-playing as a dog. My D&D character, Toby the dog.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
Bottle?
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Good job.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
Okay, find out who killed infecting staff building.
Locked.
Not anymore. I missed one room. Ay, ay, ay. Aha. Aha, I think I... No, I didn't get it. Now, small. 2. 2, 3. 2, 3. 4, 5. Aha. I am so smart. My dear friend, please allow me to express my disappointment upon reading your last letter. I am praying you to defend me, not to accuse me. Kew Gardens is a royal institution. We are granted the great opportunity to travel the world and to save the most extraordinary precious and rare species of plant. Our duty is to protect such species, and from those who might wish to use them for dubious purpose. This divine syndicate of whom you speak have no right to hold such precious plants. Remember the case of June 14th, 1889. So I must respectfully ask you once again to notarize the permission on these plants on behalf of Kew Gardens. The documents were sent to you on Monday. P.S. See you in Boodles on Tuesday, as always. Montague Dunn. Mr. Dunn, we must ask you, for the last time, for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them imprisoned. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions are wholly false. You are hiding behind lies. The lie. We need not elaborate. That was reported in the press as the case of June 14, 1889. What you have done is quite abhorrent. Be very sure that we shall never abandon our family members. We trust you and regret having done so. The Divine Syndicate.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
Debt of Miss Margaret White to Mr. Montague Dunn. Rental of a suite of rooms at Oxford Street. An educational scholarship at the London University. Credits opened at Hamilton. Radican House, tailors, and at Barts and Sons luxury jewelers.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
New plant species. The Kew Gardens team are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley, one that retains a complete resistance to the cold. They have named it the Siberian barley. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the craft, will hold a press conference next Monday morning upon this very subject. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. Montague Dunn. White and Dunn. Miss White and Mr. Dunn had a recent disagreement. Montague Dunn was planning to release Miss White from her position at Kew Gardens. Margaret White's studies and social situation were completely dependent upon Montague Dunn's wealth. Champagne?
Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste.
Apparently.
French wine. A remarkable vintage. A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
Search archives. Perform analysis. Let's do it. Oh, Toby. Was Toby the dog in the Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes? Just asking. Scandal at Divine Syndicate Club. The Divine Syndicate Club, followers of the god king the Levant, situated on 48 Grosvenor Street, Carleton Road. Protectors of plants and more particularly trees are currently the subject of an administrative investigation. The leaders of these organizations are suspected of financial malfeasance. It may be that this investigation will lead to charges of judiciary. Meanwhile, many voices have risen high against this inspection, denouncing the state. In fact, this private organization, which has given as its goal the defense and protection of nature and which incorporates many persons of influence, including political representatives of the opposition party.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
Yes. But first, if you don't mind, we will do the analysis.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis.
We need a pipette. Rotate. There's nothing.
A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
Holmes,
What?
what are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
Well, he's not wrong. Ay, ay, ay. Casper. Shall I do something?
Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a pipette and make several drops of the reagent.
Bet.
red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Can I now watch the telescope? I can. Hello. Divine Syndicate.
This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
This is very... I was about to say Japanese, but actually this might be more of a Chinese.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock...
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance, do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcome you are. To introduce myself I shall. I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
First we check on this guru. This is, I think, Chinese silk. So this is Chinese establishment. I think at least. Chemical black, did you say?
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate, glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
We visited Kew Gardens, and we found your symbols on their flower pots.
Coincidence, I am thinking. They would scavenge our refuse. It would not surprise me.
It was merely an observation. Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh, la, Good, good. I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Hello, that piece.
A fragment of a flower pot. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. The Kew Gardens symbol.
What the heck? Hmm.
Osmosis and photosynthesis.
That is correct.
This must be Trewan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
3-1.
This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
With other people around. Aha. But those doesn't fit. Aha. Place one in. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Welcome. How are you doing?
These instruments are used for smoking opium.
I was just so focused on that puzzle. And whatever happens, I don't want to skip any puzzle. I want to solve everything.
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens.
Very mysterious.
That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments.
Is this gonna explode?
A vast amount of opium.
Opium. I think this is Sherlock Holmes' heaven. I think he had a opium addiction in some point. Or it helped him think. I don't remember the reason.
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them.
Aha.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
But of interest.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
I just take them. Just take. Sherlock Holmes. Is a thief. Confirmed. Set up the alkaloid from a chemical laboratory and the caterpillars and perform the experiment with the deadly plants.
Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
Bonsai. I am checking everything.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. That should be the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic spoke of.
Don't eat it.
It is rather delicious, and of an excellent quality.
My word, Holmes. Their sap is like a form of cocaine.
I am actually surprised Sherlock Holmes is still alive. He's like 2-year-old, tasting everything. Benefactors. The book, Mackenzie, Stapleton, Spencer, Lieutenant Colonel, Reid, Stab, Alden, Halkett, Police Commissioner.
The list of plant friends and benefactors, lawyers, well-known manufacturers, political leaders.
They have influence. Let's do the chemical experiment. I am happy that this case takes longer than the last one, because I am playing this case by case.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing
It
a toxic
certainly means
vapor.
if the
I need to
case,
find out
I solve
exactly
the
how it
case.
could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Aha, I know about that case. So there's Easter eggs.
A prickly plant. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. This
Ah,
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. This plant seems to have had no reaction from the
no
caterpillars.
effect.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Deadly plant stolen. What studies? The knowledge Miss Boyd acquired at the university might not be enough to guarantee the correct reaction of the deadly plants. Miss Boyd had the biological knowledge to stimulate the deadly plants. Albert is not very good at botany. It is doubtful that he could have learned how the plants might release their deadly spores. But the divide. The mission says there is something else here. I want to try everything and find out about everything.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search? Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters. and so we stole theirs.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Missing deadly plants. Someone stole deadly plants before the Divine Syndicate were able to. It wasn't the sun, that is my perspective. Because he wasn't very good at botany, so. If he concealed that he was good at botany, then it might be different thing.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
We will see you again soon.
See. Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Tell
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
I was actually afraid I did something. But hello, Mindbox, and welcome to Sherlock Holmes. Hello. Inhaling the spores. Escaped in the room. I knew it. The ventilation system.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
Ventilation system, you say? I think it was here. I am again going to the lone way. But hello, Mindbox, how you doing? Do I have any? No. You know, the thing is, it says object of interest. So I need something there.
First of all, I need to visit the Colonial Collection Room to see how those caterpillars dropped onto the deadly plants.
Aha. Seed house. Colonial collection. Aha. I am supposed to be today. She said at the laboratory. Where was the laboratory? Nursery. Laboratory there. 3. This one? Dialogue. Seed house. This is very handy in these kind of games that you can check again the dialogue. Number 320. And there's first person mode.
Here it is. Cylinder records.
There is a first person mode.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
Find use. What was that?
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Now we go. To the ventilation system. Switch on.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started whilst the transmission is active. The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
Did something happen, Watson?
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Albert was from here. Aha!
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
There was one person who was in the laboratory. No, wait. Maybe it needed two. No, it was here.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room. Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Ventilation used. Martin Hamish had the opportunity to stimulate the little plants in the Colonial Collection Room. As a biologist, he would have understood the technicality of how to do this. Martin Hamish could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the Divine Syndicate's plants, and stimulate them from his workplace, directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collection Room. Effect the arrest of Martin Hamish. Stole all plants from the exhibition, including deadly species. They could have used them in order to murder.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Was there anything else?
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. A thesis written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office.
Cylinder. The cylinder described by Miss White appears to you quite lengthy, thereby proving that she remained in her laboratory on the day of the crime. I was then wrong. It probably was Hamish. Because also Miss White didn't seem really openly emotional, like, oh, I hated him, or, you know.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you. Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry. Martin Hamish is in the large glass house.
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
Or life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so, here and now. Farewell.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Martin Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion on his clubfoot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the colonial collection room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an accomplice? Discuss with the Lestrade the possible impact of new clues found on the body of Martin Hamish.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Talk to Inspector.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
I like that with every case there is different mechanic. I have to like it. Nothing. 9:30. Then it was at around 20 minutes to 10. When Hamish and Montague Dunn went out to the backyard. No, wait. Yep. It was around 20 minutes to 10 when Hamish and Montague Dunn. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommended his inspection into the tritropics room. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommends his inspection. Kid House. Marty Hamish had conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the library until 10:40. When she saw Hamish and Albert in the Waterlily greenhouse and joined them there. "10:40. That is the last in the timeline. There. Hamish ran to Albert as soon as he observed the Mountbatten was unwell, which was at around 10:30. 10:30. Probably there. Albert was in the seat house the entire morning. Hamish ran to Albert. Miss White was in the room until 10:40. 10 o'clock. Albert saw Hamish returning from visiting Miss White. Hamish returned to the seat house. Tried to go out into the backyard. Seat house, the light tropical home show. Hamish returned to the seat house. Albert was in the seat house the entire morning. He observed Hamish returning from visiting Miss White at 10 minutes past 10. 10. What's going on now? He observed Hamish. Again.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Let's do it. Albert's timeline. Hamish timeline. White timeline. Miss White had 20 minutes. It could not be enough to trap Montague Dunn. She could have locked the door and alerted Martin Hamish to activate the ventilation system. Martin didn't actually like Albert. Condemn Miss White.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you are here, And the next. You were on the other side.
The other side? No, stop! I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
This is tragic, Holmes.
Are you able to do anything?
I'm afraid not. The poison has been fulgurating. Her heart stopped instantly, poor child.
I want to try. Can I save her? Otherwise, I don't, let's say I go with the flow, but for some reason. That was very terrifying. I mean the angle. By the way, I am helpful that I can skip the dialogue. This game. It helps.
But Holmes,
It is.
Again.
You. I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
That was ending of this sketch. I am happy. Justice Seeker. A deadly flower. The next case is Half Moon Walk, but after the cutscene, I will stop this here.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rathead salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Or we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes, it's my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, 'cause I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
And that was the end of this case of Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment, Case of the Kew Gardens drama. But I will stop this here. I will try if there is people who wants to join the raid. No, there is not. That's sad. Sad. I am sad. I just want to sometimes to have actually raid. But what can you do? Nevertheless, I will stop this here. Thank you everybody for joining this case of Sherlock Holmes. I will continue this on Tuesday because tomorrow is Friday. It means Yakuza Friday and I play Yakuza games. But I will thank you new followers, Retrolos 2. Retrolos 2, thank you for following. And my chat, stop doing that. Thank you everybody for watching and see you again tomorrow on In the Name of Yakuza on the same Venno channel. Bye bye.